93 pounds when you started your, should we call it a horrible lifestyle?
Yes,
a horrible
you can
lifestyle.
call it that.
And now you're 264. So why do this?
There's three main reasons. One was to gain a better understanding of what it's like to be overweight. I've never had to struggle with that my whole life, so to gain a better perspective of the physical, mental, and emotional struggles that some people go through.
Let me ask you this. Did you consult with your wife before doing this? Yeah, she had a look of somewhere between dread and anger when you were talking about this.
I did consult with her. She was supportive, and she still is, right? Yes.
Most days. Most days pretty supportive.
When do you become unsupportive?
I think it was around the time he started snoring.
Yeah.
Well,
Keeping up at night.
which is what happens. It's a major cause of sleep apnea, which is the weight of the on the abdomen and the chest wall causes sleep apnea. So you got to be careful with that. I'll tell you, when Drew sat down here, he was grunting and short of breath and stuff.
Walking up that step is tough nowadays.
That is awful.
Yeah, I know, but it's part of the experience, and I never would have learned how hard it is if I didn't go through this. So for me, it's given me a better understanding.
How did you gain the weight?
Pretty easy. So no exercise for 6 months, and I basically live off the typical American diet of processed foods. So whatever's tasty, whatever's convenient, and whatever's affordable.
Do you make sure you eat a lot of it?
I let my stomach control. You know, when I'm hungry, I'll eat. When I'm not hungry, I don't eat. So I eat stuff like sugary cereals, sodas, white breads, white pastas, juices, granola bars, crackers, cookies, macaroni and cheese, frozen foods, all those things.
Do you eat actual fast food too? Do you actually go on
twice a week?
Twice a week.
Twice a week I'll eat fast food.
Why only twice a week?
Well, I work in the medical field and I travel, and on those days I travel, I'll eat fast food.
Are you fearful of eating too much fast food? Is that actually where you draw the line? Lynn's kind of saying, well, I got a little nod from her.
I actually think it's more of a cost issue.
So,
Yeah,
I tell them not to
adds up.
spend all of the money going out eating fast food.
And we just saw a picture of you. You were quite fit.
Yeah, I miss those days.
Does it depress you to look different?
It does sometimes. I mean, honestly, like when I step out of the shower and, I see myself, I don't like what I see. And so sometimes it's hard, and I didn't factor that in, the mental and emotional factors. Like I just didn't expect that. And
So let's
it's really
talk about
quite
that. First of all, did you have withdrawal from physical activity?
Yes.
Did you have a little exercise bulimia before, do you think, where you needed to work out all the time?
Yeah, I really felt like I was addicted.
Yeah.
So the first 2 months I went through withdrawals of being jealous of people that went to the gym and seeing them fit.
Okay,
Yes.
so the exercise bulimia withdrawal. And then the biological state you're in, the disturbed sleep, the difficulty catching your breath, the feeling encumbered all day. Are you getting depressed from all that?
I wouldn't say depressed, but I've had my moments of sadness, and I've blogged about how, like, I have a 2-year-old daughter, and she likes to play. She has all this energy, and it's tough to keep up with her. And so I had a moment where she started crying because I couldn't keep up with her. I couldn't run with her and play with her, and she started crying, and I felt horrible. I was like, what have I let myself become? But I can only imagine what other people have gone through who have had this weight on them for years or decades even.
How long did it take you to gain all this weight?
5.5 months. I have about a
pretty
week and a
fast.
half.
Wow.
Yeah, I have a week and a half until I can start the fat to
And
fit
then
stage.
did it cause any friction between the two of you? You mentioned a little bit of question. Tell us then.
That's a good question. Absolutely. A lot of, like Drew said, like a lot of the repercussions we didn't think about, the mental or, the emotional state. And obviously his self-confidence went down and he became lazy. He stopped helping around the house. He started complaining constantly. He really became a different person. And for me, obviously, I married the person I fell in love with. And then, for these past 5 months, I've had somebody different, and it causes friction in a marriage.
I understand. Are you worried you're going to harm yourself medically? I mean, let me just sort of, for the audience, you can get a fatty liver infiltration, which is dangerous. You can get, obviously, lipid abnormalities and start getting coronary disease or other vascular disease. It seems to have affected your mood. You've got sleep apnea. I mean, are you worried about medically how long you should go through this without harming yourself?
I thought about those things from the beginning. I knew the risk going into it, but for me, it was worth it.
Is the doctor monitoring you?
Yeah, I have a couple doctors.
Are your
work with
labs
me.
out of whack?
My cholesterol's okay. My liver, he said I do have a fatty liver. My kidneys, he said, are those of an alcoholic. And my blood pressure is like 161 over 113.
All right. So again, there's your before and after picture alongside of you there. I would be in a hurry to reverse this. When does the reversal process work?
About a week and a half.
Starts in a week and a half.
Yes.
And do you think it's going to be difficult?
I know it's going to be difficult, and I'm expecting it to be harder than I expect it to be. I expect it to be so much harder because I've never had to go through this.
Can you relate to that, Lynn?
Relate to what specifically?
To how hard it's going to be for him, and that might be another stress in your relationship. If you're not supportive of that.
I'm worried about the withdrawals that he has. I'm like, well, he's grumpy now, but imagine when they take out the soda and he gets the headaches.
I must tell you, I myself have a little bit of a carb momentum, let's call it, and a metabolic syndrome, which you may now be entering.
I actually have metabolic syndrome.
And I don't have time to get into the details of that, but it's high cholesterol, insulin resistance, high blood pressure, things like that. And so, I think people that are configured like me, we have a little compulsion with carbohydrates. And when I go on carbohydrate restriction, I get irritability and desperate and agitated and depressed and all the things I hear my heroin addicts say. It's really not fun. And you've never been through that. Is that right?
No.
Oh, it's going to be good times. It's going to be good times. I hope you blog a lot.
Right. And I'm okay with that as long as, I'm inviting people to follow me on the journey. So it's not just about me. It's about the thousands that are doing the journey with me. So if I can get people to change their lifestyles to live healthier, to me it's worth all the risk.
The other thing, this is very similar to, obviously, I'm sure people made this comparison to the whole supersize me phenomenon.
Yep.
And my daughter watched that film, and it changed her dietary focus. She all of a sudden was like, why didn't you tell me? I was like, we're trying to. And so it really does get through to people. In terms of this process of losing the weight, is there a specific structure or plan for that to make it safe?
Yeah, so I plan on focusing on diet mostly. I plan on implementing.
Are you going
to
start exercising? Yeah.
Yeah, so I plan on starting to exercise the second month. I'm just going to change my diet the first month just because I think people struggle with that the most.
Yeah.
And then I plan on implementing my exercise in phases. So I'm not just going to go
stop
do
you
the...
for a second and talk about your exercise. I've obviously treated many, many thousands of people over the years. And it seems to me there's two kinds of people in the world, people that like exercise and people that don't.
Right.
And that's the one thing you can't really recreate through this process. Imagine you're this weight and you hate exercise.
Yeah.
You love exercise, at least, so it's going to be one piece that you'll be able to fall back on.
Right.
That'll help you. But it's an interesting piece that I think we have to be empathic for people out there that don't like exercise, which is, I don't care if you don't like it. You still have to do it.
Exactly.
So you're going to tell us again how you're going to do it.
So the first month, I'm just going to change my diet and focus on that, do a few core exercises just to strengthen my lower back and my core, which has been, inactive for 6 months. And then I plan on implementing my exercise in phases. So start out with body weight exercises and then work on unilateral movements and then move into resistance training.
Are you going to have a trainer?
I'm training myself.
Lynn, you're going to be part of the training solution here?
Oh, I'll be keeping him on track.
She's going to help some of the women follow.
I think she's motivated more than you are, it seems like. I won't